truth of the matter is when you do on-page SEO the right way, it can sometimes, in a lot of cases, eliminate what you do off-page entirely. If you do it the right way, you can eliminate, having to build PBNs and having to do, complicated backlinks and stuff like that. So I wanted to put together this training webinar for you to really show you how moving forward in 2016, how you can really make sure you've got your on-page game on par and make sure you're doing things right. Well, tonight's going to be really informative for you. And basically, if you can just stick with me here for 20 minutes, we're going to make sure that you leave knowing everything you need to know about this stuff. So you notice on the screen, we've got Project Supremacy up here, and it's by Todd Spears and Herc Magnus. And I brought these guys in to help me teach this to you guys because, quite honestly, they understand this stuff a lot better than I do. And I'd rather have someone who I look up to and who knows what they're talking about teach it to you guys. So, there's the hard way to do schema and there's the easy way. And we're going to kind of break those down for you today. Take notes because within the next 20 minutes, you guys are I'm telling you, you're going to have your mind blown and be able to do this stuff, super easy. So, you guys take it away. So.
All right, so let's just get started here. This is a picture of me and some of my family on the right. Been online since 1996. My first making money online, so to speak, was email and a fax machine, selling modems to people on AOL who wanted to get going a lot faster. So that's kind of was my first way I made money online back in 1996, and springboarded off of that because eventually, all the modems died, so I had to keep on going. And so I've done some other things. I have a web hosting company. I started that in 1998. I did a lot of online lead generation for financial companies, sold that company for a couple million in 2003. Really got into SEO in 2004 because when I was selling my company, I was having to gather all the financials together and go over everything, and I realized how much money I was paying a lot of my lead generators, and they were doing it with SEO. So I thought, wow, well, I paid them hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of a few years, multiple people, and so I really got interested in learning how they were doing SEO and things like that. So I kind of just took off from there. I learned a lot of great tips and techniques from people like Jeff Johnson, who started way back then, Dory Friend started way back then, Keith Baxter way back in the day, and also spoke at a couple of workshops with Keith Baxter and Ryan Dice when they were first both coming up as well. The whole PBN thing, I'm sure a lot of you have either attempted to build one of those or trying to build one of those or have a great one already, and it really helps you get a lot of your rankings. I was one of the first people to ever start doing that back in 03 and 04, and it was kind of a hush-hush thing for many years, but I went ahead and published some information on it back in 2011 and again in 2015, and that's sort of where all the PBN craze came from. Also, I'm an early participating member of a community called OMG, which is a great SEO community. Helped those guys learn a lot about SEO, and I, in turn, learned a lot of SEO from them. Matter of fact, it's where I first got to know Herc was through OMG. Now, OMG is rather expensive. It's a $7,000 mastermind group, so it's not cheap by any means. But anyway, that's a little bit about me. I'm going to move on now to Herc Magnus, and yes, he is a real rock and roller. He doesn't just play one on TV. Herc, say hello.
What's up, everybody? Yeah, I've been doing internet marketing for quite a long time too. Basically, right out of college, when the internet was first getting going, I went online and I was like, I want to learn how to make money, and kind of started back then when I was like 20 years old, and that was about 18 years ago now. And had a lot of ups, a lot of downs, had to take some bartending jobs and this and that, and obviously I became a musician and I focused on that for a long time. But in about late 2013, I wanted to focus all my energy on SEO. I really liked the idea of client SEO and lead gen SEO and stuff, and started learning everything I could. And I ended up moving from Canada to Phoenix to focus on my business, and just my business exploded. I was able to quit my full-time job, go into SEO full-time with my girlfriend, and we're doing extremely well. now, and through kind of that path is kind of when I met Todd, and kind of here we are today on this Webby with you guys, going to show you some really cool shit.
Right on, right on. Thank you, Herc. Thank you. Okay, so let me just get right into this. I promised I would get this done in 20 minutes. This is what I consider the next generation of search engine optimization. Today you're going to see multiple new and old sites making huge gains in the SERPs in very short periods of time. We're going to show some screenshots to you of what schema markup and structured data and the semantic web is all about. So 20 minutes, turn off your cell phones, take some notes. I'm going to be giving you some URLs on the screen. I'll probably try and go hit some sites. We're going to try and make sure we put some stuff in the hashtag. And I see people are already responding with the hashtag ready. They're like, shut up, Todd, and get on with it. Get on with it. Okay, so here we go. Now, what are we talking about? We're talking about the semantic web, and I'm sure there's a lot of people on this call with a lot of experience. They've heard of the semantic web. They've maybe read some here and stuff about it. I mean, it's a big, convoluted word there, and it means a lot of different things. So, and what I'm saying is that today we're only going to focus on the structured data. And here's the definition of structured data. Data that can be immediately identified within an electronic structure such as a relational database. For example, to retrieve the name of a city, the city field is accessed. In contrast, text is unstructured, and to derive meaning from it, the text must be scanned and analyzed. Everybody get that? All right, I won't read it again. I know it's confusing. But what it basically means is Google wants to see data in a structured way that they can understand it without having to analyze it. Analyzing is the key phrase there, because right now Google has to analyze and process and use lots of computing power to understand it. But by having structured data, we're going to tell them exactly what we're talking about. All right, exactly. Who understood that? Not a lot of people do, and that's why, according to Search Engine Land, over 80% of all sites do not use structured data. And that's true. It's a little confusing. It's a little technical. It's relatively new. We're going to be talking about Schema again. Schema.org is kind of who started all this stuff a few years ago. But like it's going to be all the rage in 2016. Mark my words. That number, 80%, will probably be more like 50% this time next year. All right. And I actually have a tool where I can put in a keyword and tell me exactly who's using structured data and who isn't. And I'll go into that a little bit later on. But it's true. Not a lot of people are using structured data. And I promise you, what we're seeing is that when we use structured data, Google just automatically gives us love by increasing our rankings. Okay? All right. Again, I mentioned Google. Who cares? Google cares that soon. I'm going to read a couple of snippets of information here from a couple of other websites that I frequent. They're not your typical guru SEO sites. These are a little more heady, a little more deep. But I'll read one right here from SEOskeptic.com. Write these two sites down. I encourage you to visit them, read these guys, follow their links, and you'll learn a lot of SEO. All right. Google is now piloting a program, and what that means is just recently, Google's never really come out and said, hey, structured data is the way to go. I mean, it's kind of been there, but they haven't actually come out and said it. Well, now they're coming out and actually saying it. So Google's now piloting a program that allows local business owners to provide information about their business by using schema.org. What that means is now they're going to sites looking for schema, looking for it, hoping to find it. For example, by providing in your site with a mix of required, recommended, and optional properties with values for the schema.org local business class. We're going to be talking about the local business class today, and that's what I'm pretty sure most of you are interested in. A business can now provide Google with information about things like the business's name, address, telephone number, physical location, and hours of operation. Basically, we generate a little script. We stick it inside the code, inside the page, not on the page, but in the page, right? The spiders come by and read the code, and they see the structured data of what I just described there. Now, also very important is there's multiple ways of doing structured data. There's microdata, there's rich text formatting, and then there's JSON LD. And Google really, really recommends that we use JSON LD. So remember that when you're going to put schema on your sites, make sure you're writing your code in JSON LD. Okay, JSON LD. I'll show you some examples of some snippets here in just a minute. Okay, also from SEOhacker.com, schema is the new way that Google, Yahoo, and Bing use to sort the whole internet out. Meaning it's really easy for them to understand and sort out what it is you're talking about, who you are, where your location is, and what you're about. It's a system that will make it easier for the search engines to identify what a site is or even a paragraph is all about. There's a lot of different ways to use schema. There's a lot of different things going on in schema, but for local businesses, it's almost crucial right now if you want to beat your competition. All right, now you say, okay, great. Is there any proof that structured data increases rankings? And of course, we wouldn't be here today if we didn't have a mountain of proof that I'm sitting here watching the show me's coming in the box. You guys are ahead of me. I love that. I love that. I love that. So, all right, so let's just get right into it. We have been using, let me just preface this by saying we've only made this available to people for about, I would say, almost 6 weeks. We've allowed some of my users to use the plugin and put it on their sites and experiment with how things work. All right, everyone's got the box filled up with show me. Okay, here we go. Here is a testimonial that just came in, I believe just a day or two ago. A good friend of mine, a great SEO. He builds and ranks sites all the time. Hey guys, I'm off to a slow start on this due to jumping out of the blocks without going through the training videos, as Wayne always does, but eventually he gets around to it. He just likes to ask a lot of questions, but great guy out of Houston, Texas. Well, I was hesitant to give a testimonial until the day I actually saw the results, and that day was a few days ago. I installed the plugin on the 29th of December correctly, fumbled around, Herc helped him out, had the keywords to go, and had the keywords go up several positions to pages. Prior to that, the site sat stagnant for about 3 weeks, fully indexed. I haven't done much to it except for tweak the on-page and include this plugin. Guess it's time to start linking now. So yeah, the plugin works. Also like the fact that it forces you to do good on-page. So as you can see right here, he's jumped up. I'm going to get a little bigger on these slides just by installing schema. I don't want to talk about the plugin. I want to talk about schema. I want to talk about structured data. He has added schema and structured data to his sites, and these are the results he's getting in merely a few days. 21 to number 11. Page 4 all the way to page 1, number 10 in 5 days. That's pretty phenomenal if you ask me. I mean, a lot of people, if you want to see those kind of results, what do? Yeah, right, you buy some links. PBN, exactly. That's the way everyone's been taught that's what you have to do in order to get rankings, or you try and add more keywords on your page, and then hopefully you don't get an over-optimization penalty, right? So,
hey Todd, sorry to interrupt you, but I just saw something really cool come in the chat box. Andrew says that he's got a brand new site with this installed on it, and it's number 1 in the map pack.
Oh, right on. Yeah, we have been seeing a lot of people tell us that after installing the plugin, they are jumping right back into the top spots of the map packs. Exactly. I think I have a testimonial here coming up for map pack.
Cool.
But excellent. Good job, Andrew. Thanks for taking action. That's great. So PBNs and doing other things to your site that may or may not get you slapped. I mean, we all know we can get away with links and certain things as long as we don't spam and as long as we're not doing anything crazy. We can usually get away with it pretty well, but they're still running that risk. This schema and structured data is absolutely 100% slap proof. This is absolutely exactly what Google's looking for, and these results show it, prove it. Daker Sage recently created an EMD site. Everybody heard EMD doesn't rank anymore, right? Well, they do with schema. For a local client, installed PSV2 and followed instructions. 3 days later, the site and 2 pages are at number 13, 16, and 17 in the SERPs. No links.
Yeah, look at the date on there, too.
In a medium competition market. Go ahead, Hurt.
Yeah, I'm just saying, look at the date on, too. These are fresh. Like, these aren't old-ass results.
Oh, right. Yeah, these come in every day. Yeah, EMD is an exact match domain, like saltlakeCityplumber.com. because people go to Google and type in Salt Lake City plumber, plumber Salt Lake City. They used to work just like crazy a few years ago. We all were buying them, right? And then, you know, a little bit of a slap happened with EMDs, and they weren't as popular as they once were. And so we kind of stopped using them a little bit, or we used some LSI with that, which means latent semantic indexing. Sorry if I'm saying some crazy words, but anyway, so that's a great testimonial from Danker. Here's a Snack Pack testimonial right here. Snack Pack within 24 hours. Bam. Magnus, no relation to Herc, but you can see right there another guy using schema on his pages. Snack Pack, 24 hours. I'm telling you guys, Google loves structured data because they know that you're for real, that you've put time and effort into your site. You're not just some run-of-the-mill churn and burn scammer spammer, right? It means a lot, and they don't have to work to figure you out. All right, here is a great testimonial from Marissa, and Herc is real personal with Marissa, so I'm going to go ahead and let Herc give you a little rundown about this testimonial.
Sure. Marissa is actually a VA of mine that basically came on to work with me in exchange for me helping her out with her SEO and everything like that. So when the plugin was kind of first in the early development stages, I obviously wanted some testing happening, and I was like, Marissa, you need to put this plugin on your site and test things. And she was able to rank this site on the first page of Google. You guys can see the rankings there in about 60 days back in the early version of the plugin, of course, so that's why it took a little bit longer than some sites were seeing. But within 60 days, using the rank and rent method that I teach, she was able to rank it there and then start contacting people with the same service of site beneath her, obviously, and just saying, hey, listen, you guys, I have a better ranking for you in your industry. Would you be interested in renting out my site? And I showed her how to kind of craft the sales pitch and how to come at this person with a lot of data. And within 2 months, she was able to sell that site to someone for $1,000 a month, or like a $12,000 a year raise. You know what I mean? Like, nobody gets those kind of raises at work, but an SEO kind of happens all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Marissa's pretty new at SEO, but with Herc's training and some of the software and the teachings that we provide, and especially starting her site off right with schema, page 1, rank and rent. All right, let me move on. JC Blake, another good user of ours who's been in the group for about a month now. I'll be forever grateful to Herc that he insisted I take a look at this little project he's been working on. One of my clients was moving around from page 2 to page 3, went all the way up to 3rd on the first page with some rank trackers I use showing it as first. Holy heck, that happened with no additional links or adjustments to the site. Just the schema, the structured data on the site. Let it do its thing. Follow the instructions and watch and wonder. Thank you, Herc, and all involved. Fantastic plugin, ridiculous support. That's a great testimonial from JC, as you can see here as well. Didn't go out and buy a bunch of PBN links, just gave Google what they're looking for, that structured data and schema. So we just wanted to make sure that everybody understands that you know what we're talking about here is for real. It really is for real. I know there's a lot of, you know, I know that everyone is inundated and told and made offers and things of this nature. I mean, I get it, I understand, and so I just really wanted to show you guys real results from real people coming in really quickly by doing what we're talking about. All right. Another example, hockey stick. Love to see the hockey stick. I mean, this graph right here just makes my mouth open. Added schema, 24 hours. Look at that graph. Phenomenal. That client was really happy.
Hey guys, again, real quickly, I see people asking, does this work for Google My Business listings, a 3-pack? And just to clarify, yes, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, and that's my next slide, Paul. I was going to say that as well. Structured data and schema for Google My Business. By implementing structured data, you're giving Google the exact details about your site, especially your location of business. And what will we do? What you also want to do with your schema is make sure you're providing the latitude and longitude in your markup. Latitude and longitude in your markup. That's how maps work. Okay. Important takeaway. I can't stress this enough. You cannot over optimize or be slapped for implementing schema. This is 110% white hat, 110% what Google wants. They've already come out and started saying it. I'm going to show you some sites in a minute that are on google.com that teaches you how to do this. Case studies also show, I just showed you the one before, that Google My Business and Maps listings will rise when using schema. Happens over and over again. Absolutely. All right, so what the heck does that all mean to you? I think everyone already knows what that means. It means you must implement schema now before your competition does. That's what we're telling you today. That's what I spent the last 15 minutes doing, is telling you how important schema is to your site. And I prove it to you, showing, I mean, we've got more and more of those types of screenshots and testimonials. Maybe we'll get into some more a little bit later, but we know it works. Structured data using schema.org. Give me a hashtag schema. Everybody give me a hashtag schema. Greetings, Isaac from Costa Rica. Cool place. I go there quite a bit. Love it down there. Yeah, hashtag schema, guys. You got to get used to that word and don't be afraid of it, and you got to get into it. Yeah, absolutely. Everyone's paying attention.
Yeah, I just want to kind of add a note, Todd.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think schema alone, from what we've been seeing so far, is, to me, it's almost as powerful as adding like 5 or 10 really good PBN links.
I agree.
It's powerful.
I agree. Okay, moving on. Here is some links to some sites that I'm going to go ahead and break out to right now. And these are the things that you're going to need to implement schema on your site. So let me just jump over there now. Break out of this presentation for a second and show you my screen again. Okay, one of the links that I gave you right here on google.com is structured data. Right here. So this is one of the places I started after I read some other articles from some other really, I'll get to this little schema.org site over here in a minute. But this is a great place to get started to understanding what schema is. Do not be intimidated by it. Lots and lots of links over here on the left. I don't have time to go over all these, and I can't explain it to you in 20 minutes. But I want you to start there. Also, on Google, you see JSON LD. What did I say was the most important markup language you could use? JSON LD. Google schemas. Google knows about this stuff. They understand it. And man, by the results I've already showed you, they love it. You have got to get on to JSON, schema, structured data. All right, moving on to another link I sent you. W3C. This link right here will teach you how to embed JSON in your HTML pages. Okay. A little bit heady, a little bit geeky, okay? I know there's a lot of smart people on this call that can handle it. I know there is. I know Paul has a lot of really smart people in his fold there that have been learning from him. So, but it is a little heady. But here's your links. Here's what it looks like, right? Just a little bit of code, right? It's not too crazy, right? I mean, it's not too crazy. You know, you just have to understand, you know, a little bit of it here and there. But once you've done all that, once you've got it on your site, you'll want to test it right here in the Google Validator. This will actually test your structured data. That's how much Google loves it. They provide their own testing tool to make sure you got it correct, and they can read it and they can understand it. All right, real quick, I want to show you this site right here. It's in the chat box as well. This is a really good site. From some really smart individuals that are discussing schema, and they're from the W3C community groups, Semantic Web. This stuff gets a little heady too, I won't lie. It's not always easy to understand. It does take a little bit of time. But in any event, I wanted to provide you with really all the sites that you need to learn and understand schema in JSON, and just make sure that you're going to implement it. Okay, how we doing on time? All right, we are about 25 minutes into the call, so let's see where we're at. Let me jump back into the presentation. Okay, yeah, so that's all I have for telling you about schema. Now, obviously, there's some people on here that probably don't have the time or basically don't have the time to go out and do all that manually and learn it all. So we get that. Installing schemas manually, it's hard, it takes time. So, with that being said, if you would like to stay on and learn how we do it, some of the things that we've developed to help our customers just bam do this, give you a hashtag stank, and I can already see the response in the chat box. Or you know what? If you just a simple thank you to Herc and Paul for bringing us on today, and if you learned something, yeah. So we you can go now. 25 minutes. I think I pulled that off, and I just really want you to know that one way or another, if you're trying to rank sites, you need to get involved with the semantic web. You need to get involved with schema and structured data. That's really what I want you to know. And I want you to take those links that we provided for you and, just do it. Do it. Nothing happens without taking action, so just do it.